audience, Leo Kibe. Look who you brought out. Look at everyone around you, Wana. Let's clap for Kibe. Hey.
You guys are full of shit.
So,
full of shit.
I know you don't. I know you don't like people kissing your ass, but
No, I can't. I can't stand it.
if you'll allow me, I got you a gift, Fad. If you don't mind.
Starting with gifts.
I know you're a whiskey drinker. And look, I appreciate you. I've told Eric this, and I've told you this as well. I appreciate you coming on the podcast. So this is something from Liquor Shack. Why don't you check it out and let me know what you
That's
think?
what's up.
I'm not a whiskey drinker, but I hope this aligns with some.
Who is Liquor Shack?
It's some guys based out in Westgate. They actually,
You know them?
yeah, I know them.
They're your buddies.
Well, they used to be with me in uni. We haven't spoken, but whenever I need to give someone alcohol,
Also, you guys do this. Nice.
so let me know what you think of this.
Nice. Thank you.
Some quality stuff there.
Let's see what we have here. Woo.
Sure.
That's what's up. It's a Glenlivet, 18 years, my guy.
Sasa 18
Single malt. Unajua single malt inamaanisha nini?
Sijui, Ebu explain.
You see, many of these whiskeys are blended.
Yes.
So they get many whiskeys from different places and then they put them together and they blend them.
Yes.
But these single malts are just come from one batch of whatever it is they come from. Okay. So there are people who consider these to be like, like the top range of whiskeys.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's single malt. It's
pristine.
it's like, hey.
So it's a good decision.
It's very beautiful. Thank you.
So I was going to pay you.
Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it, bro, because
you,
you
man.
obviously, when you came onto the channel, the impact it had.
So this is now you kissing my ass with the yeah.
Yes. And then
Let's do more with this shit.
and then
how
obviously
how many subscribers are you on now?
Tumefika 11,000.
How many were you when I came?
I think 1,200, 1300,
Like 2,000 something.
2,000 something. So you gave us that. You
And this
boosted
is
us.
the motherfucking things I get. This is it. I gave
I'm
10,000
curious,
subs.
how long does that last in a Kibe household?
Apparently, when I'm alone, I don't drink much. But when I got bitches,
It's the company you keep.
it's the company I keep.
Is that something you'd share with some women of the night? Oh, that's exclusive.
No, you see, this thing is sweet. When you're taking it, it's sweet. So you feel like you're. It's like you're wasting it when you have, just giving out those langas of yours, those chiles from Roisa. Yeah.
So it's for special occasions for special people.
This is a good drink. I'll totally enjoy it. Thank you very much, man.
So talking about special occasions, special people, I had to bring Skipper, my co-pilot here. Eric Mutiso, he's another guy I credit for my success.
Pleasure to be here, man.
You've been supporting me, and I thought we're
It's
going to
all
have
you, man. It's all
Nah,
you.
Nah, we have the big man over here. So we're now co-piloting this flight. There are a lot of things we want to discuss.
Pleasure to be here, man.
No, but the two of you guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. You guys are good.
Now
vibes.
you're brown nosing us. Where are you?
No, but you see, I can tell from my podcast with you the last time. So I've done 2 with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've done with 1 with you. So I can tell the impact it has, the kind of comments people are saying. So you guys are on the right track.
Asante.
Yeah, you're sharing good energy.
We were talking about the minority vocal at that time.
Yeah.
The video that we have has a 99.98% like. So this Kibe hate that we talked about, this Kibe hate that was there, I don't fucking see
It doesn't
I
really
told you guys
exist.
that thing that exists.
It
Man.
doesn't really
There are a few
exist.
angry women that message me, Sijui, unfollow Kibe right now. You're never seeing me again. And I told you, I unfollowed them. I did what I had to, then I followed you back. So if you see your follow account dropping by 1, just know
It's you.
ni mpango wa kando.
Yeah, no. You see now you're a typical Kenyan. Kitu umekataa tu ni skin. But you guys are just a regular nyeuthi.
I always say we used to call this guy Chiga in school because amongst the other Asian people,
He has refused kabisa to
he had
be Asian.
very,
Kabisa, stuck.
for lack of a better word, niggerish vibes.
Yeah, what was that name? There was another name you were calling me. Sospita.
I used to call it
Sospita. I just remember that.
because he used to sag your pants. He used to act very hip hop.
So do you like black chiles more than Indians?
Listen, right now, I'm a single man. I'm a man of the Lord. There's no comments on
No,
women.
but you see, at least you see him, I wouldn't ask him that question because I know there's no way he's kutana with Indian chiles.
You know how weird it is? What's happening, family? We've got another sponsor, Mo Fit Supplements. Let's hear it out for them. They reached out and they were like, you're on a fat loss journey. We want to support that. We want to support your ambitions. We know what you have in mind. We want to provide you with this stack And so what we have is, we've got the whey protein, 24 grams of protein per serving. I love the strawberry flavor. We've got the pancake mix, quick and easy. Use it with water, use it with milk, fantastic. Creatine, I use 5 grams a day, and fat burner. They have a lot more. They've got a muscle gainer, they've got a pre-workout, they've got shakers. Do check them out. They've shown us some love. I want you guys to show them some love. More Fit Supplements. Guys, you know I love coffee a lot. I literally named my podcast the Coffee Pump Podcast. So with a caffeinated podcast, you need a caffeinated partner. And I'm happy to say that Connect Coffee has come on board as the official sponsor on the Coffee Pump Podcast. This is everything they have. My personal favorite is the Romeo blend. I first had this in 2016. Actually had my first business meeting at the Chiromo campus where we're shooting at today. They've shown us love. I'd like for you to show them some love as well. We'll link everything in the description of the video. Do check them out. Best coffee in Kenya, hands down. Is whenever I interact and get close to an African colleague, the first, especially if he's Jama, he'll ask me, have you shaken a black mama? Have you shaken a black mama? Is that something that's very...
I mean, that we want to share with you.
You know, my parents...
I'm wondering why you've not asked me the same question. Like, have you ever been more than India?
So here's the thing.
Come on.
Here's the thing.
Reciprocate.
I'll tell you this. Because we're at Connect Coffee, my parents are going to watch this. I have to keep it sober. My mom has messaged me sometimes. Disgusting podcast. What are you saying? What will people think? So let's mull over that topic.
Your parents actually watch all your episodes.
They watch the Kibe one. They watch yours as well. Wow. Mom and dad watch.
Wow.
They low-key support.
Shout out Sajid's folks if you're watching, man.
Yeah.
So we just close this podcast. Me, I don't have parents.
So,
you think my parents don't care about what I say? I didn't have to care about you.
Do you care about your parents?
No, I don't care about anybody.
When
like
did that start?
opinions.
Why should you care?
When did that start? Like, what age did you reach? You're like,
I don't give a fuck.
I don't care about
Yeah.
anyone's opinion.
When I realize everybody is out for themselves, so why should I care about?
You know,
Everybody, bro, absolutely everybody, including my own kids. Is it you I was telling you?
Yeah.
That's now. I did an experiment like a week ago. I told my kids, you know what? You guys are sending me too many text messages. There's too much communication between us. So can we try and nip this in the bud before you guys will become monsters? So we have to stop this over communicating. So the only thing that I want to hear from you, if you're asking me for something, you only have to ask me once a week. So whatever it is you want. You want to eat KFC, you want to buy this, you want to buy that, whatever it is that you want.
One request.
One and once a week. Okay, so you decide whatever it is that you want.
You know, I keep hearing how...
I realized these kids don't really have much to tell me once I laid down that law. Like, I'm not getting texts anymore because the texts were just,
request.
can I get this? Can I get this? Can I get this? Can I get this?
I had a question on that because on the first podcast, we obviously talked about this, that every individual is an individual. There's no we.
Yes.
But I still want to push back on that kidogo.
Yeah.
Because, again, when it comes to building something, you as a Kibe brand, I think there were, yes, as much as you're an individual, there is that support structure that you had that brought you to where you are. With this podcasting, Eric has been a support structure. For the most part, you have been a support structure. You're a person I can count on to come on. It goes to that notion is no man is an island, right? We all need each other in some sort. So
Yeah, but why would you put care there? It's not care. It's
Mutually beneficial.
It's mutual, exactly. Like now, do I care that I'm here? No, I want to be here because I know there's value in being here. I'm connecting with two very upcoming. This is going to be the biggest podcasters in Africa. Why would I want to touch on this while it's still in its infant stage?
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So for me, don't ever assume that I'm your friend.
Straight up.
Yeah, bro. If you have no value, you bring to the table.
There was once I asked Kibe, let's go for dinner. He's like, fuck dinner.
But let me ask, because I keep hearing this even at work. People allude to the fact that they won't say directly, but guys don't seem to, they feel obliged to take care of their kids because it's societal pressure. You brought them into this world. It's a thing to do. Do people actually like their kids? Am I just obliged?
No, people don't even know what they're doing. People are oblivious. People are just rolling around. They're like in a daze. They don't know what the fuck is happening. What do you mean kids? You like your kids? What the fuck does that mean? These people didn't exist you went to Bomoa Chile, Atoi came. You want to tell me you like that kid? Where has that like come from? Just think about it. Where has it come from? Where have you just developed a like for a child as a man?
Let me ask you, if you get a son or a daughter, is this the same exact sentiments you'll share?
No, but you see, the thing is
I
this.
say I don't know. The thing is, from the research I'm doing, well, the narrative or the thing to say is that the moment I held my child, it was
It's
a woman.
bullshit. And then,
Did you do that, Kibe? You
I've been in
wake
Hosi.
Yeah.
One of my kids, when my kids was coming into the picture at Aga Khan Hospital, I went into the theater room and I saw them doing that whole process where the kid comes from the Pudesh and the woman is, oh my God, and everything. I saw that whole thing and my kid was taken to the weighing machine there and I saw how big that Pudesh gets. And I was like, I've done the whole thing and I didn't feel that thing that people talk about. That thing is in the movies.
Did you feel pressure to pretend that you felt it?
At the start, yeah, like, oh, it's my baby. It's this,
Because
that.
people coalesce. People coalesce.
There's that pressure, especially if you're deep in society.
Because your family will come, congregate. How does it feel to be like?
Okay, let me flip it again from a Mwindi culture perspective, where you bring in kids, you bring them into the world, you educate them, you take care of them, and then you set them forth in the world. Now, as the parents get older, they're unable to sustain themselves, they're unable to take care of themselves. So the expectation is that our kids will then take care of us as now we transition out of this world. Is that and that's the importance of kids, right? Because now let's say Kibe is a 98-year-old man and you have your rotation of regular women, but one time you're working one and you break your hip and there's no one at home. There are no kids to support you and you're stuck over there.
It's called money. Money.
But wouldn't you
I
want
can hire an 18-year-old Cuban to come and take care of me. And fuck around with me, my nigga, telling me about family.
You can never corner this guy. Eh?
What is this guy?
Family are the ones who are going to come and fuck you. There's a guy called Kehika Kimani here in Kenya. This guy built like half of Embakasi.
Susan Kika's pups.
Bro, when the guy was dying, his family had locked him up in a room. He couldn't leave. He was trying to signal everybody, please help me. The family has locked him up so that he can sign over shit to them. This family that you're talking about, the one that you love so much, they had locked him up. How many Kikuyu men have been killed by their own wives?
Sasa, I need to
Well, at
bring
least
this
you
guy.
are lucky you're a cow.
I need to bring this.
Kikuyus
So
are
you see the way all the windies are smiling at the back over here. I think I need to invite you home, meet Mzee, tukule biryani pamoja. You understand where he comes from. Because for me, I'm still of that opinion that, hey, if shit hits the fan, the person I go to is my Mzee.
But you guys have the culture.
The culture is there. Do you respect that culture?
I love it.
Thank you.
I love the Indian culture.
By the
And
way-
that's why every time you tell me you're not of that culture, I'm like, fuck this guy.
I mean,
because
so-
we could get so much from you, but you've denied that culture.
No. They're again, sales guy. The part that profits me, that's part of my culture. Lazima.
Okay, you're eating
You
everything,
take the
eh?
best, you
Okay,
leave the
okay,
worst.
yeah.
The shitting on the road, the smell that's the stuff you leave on the side. Yeah?
But to play devil's advocate,
Thank you very much, man.
By the way, Kevo, thank you so much. But we're at Connect Coffee today. What do you guys think of the environment?
it's dope, man. I always like a good coffee.
I want your opinion on the coffee.
They were very welcoming to me. So for me, that is always more than even better than the food.
That's good.
Like I was saying, to play devil's advocate, if you look at the West, you get retirement homes, old people's homes.
It's messed up.
Guys, Jipanga. It's not messed up. Those guys are, in an environment.
Organize your life,
Think
my
about
guy.
it. Think about it practically. Being at home, being pseudo visited by your kids when you're half coherent,
Yeah.
versus chilling with your half coherent buddies. The other day I saw on TikTok some guys playing with a balloon, some old people's home. Balloon was tossed in the air, they're just tossing it around the room.
I'll give you
That
this.
seems like more fun, bro.
There's some wives and mother-in-laws that doctrine would ring true. Ebu send this one to a nursing home. And again, the facilities, I guess they're both sides of the
So
argument.
which one do you want to have when, let's say now you see yourself at 80, let's say 80 sounds like an age where your bowels have stopped working,
80.
You can't hold in a shit.
Trump is 80, bro.
I mean, whatever. Okay, let's say 90.
90, yeah. 90.
But anything apart from 70, what you need more is not family, is money.
That's true.
Because you can buy anything you want. You can buy companionship. Bro, you can get a 20-year-old at 70 when you have chums.
Quincy Jones, before he died,
Yeah.
in his house, the lady who was taking care of him intimately was some 19, 20 year old.
Blah. And they will do it, not just do it, they will do it willingly, and they will do it with all their heart because they know at the end of it, there's a paycheck. But I imagine somebody who's doing it for feelings.
What do you think of this guy? I think he has a God complex. Brian Johnson, the guy who's trying to keep his life. He takes like 100 supplements a day.
The longevity guy, yeah?
Yeah, the billionaire.
How old is he?
I think he's like 50.
and he's a billionaire. But every day his regiment, man, that just looks like a pain in the ass.
It looks
He's trying to live longer.
On behalf of humanity.
Nice.
Like, I'm gonna be a sacrifice. I'm gonna show you guys how to extend life. So every day the guy has transfusions. He takes like 30, 40 pills a day.
I mean, if I was
bullshit.
a billionaire, I would do some aspect of it where you have your indoor gym, you have your supplements, you have a chef cooking you personalized food. Like for us, the reason in our corporate jobs dieting is hard. Imagine you do those 6 sectors and then you come back and then you have to go home and cook your own food. Now you have a chef to take care of you. You have a gym, you have a personal trainer, you have a Latina girlfriend who's also a yoga instructor. Yeah, all that stuff. If you have money, those are the possibilities. You can go crazy.
She has a nice yoga ass, you know.
Yes, the voluptuous one. The one 50 Cent used to sing about.
No, not the big one, bro. Big one is for broke people.
No.
Yeah, you need a nice small ass, you know.
Me, I'll tell you.
I mean, the thing about it, you guys, you're looking to live longer.
It's like those 200 series Land Cruisers. Those are too big. You know the 100 series? That was the perfect size. That type of one. Sindio? I'm away on a 80, the small one.
When you say the 100 series,
The Land Cruiser. You know the Land Cruiser, the new ones, the ones with big fat asses. And then we have the old ones, the 100 series.
Okay.
We'll ask Kim to put up the pictures over here.
Yeah. I think I used to look at those Land Cruisers when I was going home. We were living in South Sea at the time. So to Kenya, as you go home, so I always sit on the front of the matatu because of my height.
I know that. I know the struggle, man.
So when you have
Yeah.
So I would sit on the front and not in the middle. The front
This one.
here.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to pay extra. I'm willing
Yes.
to wait for another matatu. I'm willing to do whatever. So that as I'm going home, I can look to the left and I can see Toyota Kenya and I can see those Land Cruisers and I can have that picture as I go home so that before I sleep, I want to remember that picture and dream about my dream car. Imagine that.
Land Cruiser for
Well,
soldiers.
you've tasted somewhat buying your dream car, bro. S550 in your Diabs, man.
Yes. How was that?
that-
When you first bought it, like what was that experience? Did you feel like you accomplished something?
I'll be honest.
Anticlimax.
Yeah, there was a bit of an anticlimax.
Really?
Yes.
Able walk me through that.
Because it's something I thought would bring a lot of. I thought I would feel good about it, but I didn't. There was no difference because there was nothing to feel. It was just an imagination I'd put in my head.
So are you saying money can't buy happiness?
No, it can't, bruh.
It can or it can't?
It can't. It can't. Money is happiness.
Or is happiness?
Yeah, I didn't have to buy the S550.
Money
You know
is
what I mean?
happiness. That's the tag.
The freedom to be able to
I didn't
just-
have to buy the S550 because the S550 like trying to prove a point. I didn't have to prove the point. I had the money.
Do you feel that African American culture seeped in? Because the other day I was seeing apparently Mayweather is going broke.
Yes,
Oh,
I heard
Mayweather.
that as well.
Imagine.
No
Yeah,
fucking way.
Yeah.
Imagine.
apparently.
He recently did a presser where
No
he was,
way.
he was saying he had bought a portfolio of $400 million worth of real estate in New York. And it turns out it was fake. And it turns out they've been doing some scamming. It turns out his finances are not in order. And I was just like, man, the curse of the African American man. This guy has touched a B. Now he's going broke. So do you feel when you're in the States, did you have that?
There was a bit of a self-esteem issue there, I must admit. But also trying to, because I've been building a story here. So when I was buying the car, I wasn't buying the car for me. I was buying the car to prove that I can buy the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I can actually buy a fucking S550. Something I've set out to do. I looked at the car and I said, I want the best of this car and I'm going to get it and I'm going to find it and whatever. And I brought it. And as soon as that was done, it was a task, just like Ride 47. So there was nothing beyond that. After that, it's just a car. because cars are there to drive.
So it was a goal in mind, and you're
It
like,
was just a goal in mind, but it was a bit of an anticlimax because it was a puny goal, if you ask me. Yeah.
just on Floyd. You know, the weird thing is, so in my work line, I get exposed to Jamas that are financially like incredibly wealthy, the top 1% of the world. And a lot of these guys get poached out by wealth investment firms. So they come to you and they tell you, like, you know how people do money markets. Now think of money markets at a global scale. We diversify your portfolio. We get you a return on this. So every economy, for example, you go to a bank today, you get a 10% return, 11% return. If you rent an apartment in Kenya, that's the return, 10%, 11%. They diversify your portfolio and tell you, we'll give you 15%, 20%. We'll invest in Japan, we'll invest in this, we'll invest in that. And this is now happening more banks. Like if you're a multi-millionaire today in Kenya and you go to NCBA or Standard Bank, they'll give you access to the European guys.
Is it guaranteed?
I mean, like you have to hit a certain limit for them to give a fuck about you. Like if if you're a Fuliza for 4,000 bob. So my question is, Floyd at that level of money he was initially making, that Conor McGregor fight, you guys remember? What did he make? $150 million?
This guy through his career comfortably, cumulatively made a B.
Easily.
Throughout.
So for a guy to be that broke at a B, when imagine if you just put it in these money market funds, the ones on steroids, and you're getting a 15% return every year on that. 15%, that's $150 million for you to blow. So clearly someone is not advising that guy.
There must be something else because you won't tell me a guy who can access, who can have a pay-per-view. Like it was I think
one of the largest.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. One of the largest pay-per-views.
Yeah, so this guy can have that kind of access to those kind of managers, those kind of brains, and this guy doesn't come out on the. I mean, there must be a hustle here.
But even if you look at
must be a hustle.
If you look at his daughter, who is she dating? Some rapper or something?
NBA young boy.
Yeah. So my point is like.
So it's just a ghetto guy who doesn't know how to spend his money.
Inferiority complex.
Exactly.
Inferiority complex.
That's the way to put it.
Yeah. Ghetto.
How do you buy an $18 million watch?
What the fuck? Because you can and you want to flex on them bitches. But then it dies. It's the S550 all over again, right?
It's the S550 all over again.
So you're not attached. You've already passed that cycle of a man's life where you're attached to things.
Yeah, I don't feel the need to prove myself anymore. I'm just doing what I need to do for myself. So I'm not going to buy a car to prove a point to people that I have a car or a plane. These are utilities. It's just like a phone.
Yeah.
Like a mic, like, utilities.
But do you think that comes with age? That comes with wisdom?
A lot.
Because he knows some of my spending habits. And I
abysmal, man.
Like,
this guy.
I have no control.
Yeah. I mean, that's how to be. That's how to be. Spend everything. Die broke. Die empty. Leave no legacy. Leave a legacy. You spend everything.
What do these kids want? Yes. Twenda Bitcoin tuuze yote.
How many Bitcoins do you have?
Hey. Say,
you guys, if you have Bitcoin and we're here podding you guys, then there's something.
Let me just tell you this. So there's a coin I'm banking on, XRP. If XRP even reaches $1,000, I told Mkurugenzi I will take him to Dubai. But now if that reaches even 1,000, all of us to Japan, private jet.
What are the odds?
I'm hoping it does. So XRP was meant to... Okay, the logic behind Bitcoin is there's a finite amount, right? There's 21 million coins. With currency, the problem is if we're 3 different governments, we can print out money. We can devalue the currency.
Yeah.
You can't do that with Bitcoin. It's fixed. It's a fixed asset. And so you and I are, let's say, fighting for it. Then Kibe starts fighting for it. The 21 million still stays 21 million. So the value increases. The government in the U.S. has said, we're going to make it part of our Federal Reserve asset. It's our saving strategy to get rid of the interest. Other governments are adopting it. Saudi has adopted Ripple. So that means the finite coins are now increasing in value slowly. The other thing people don't look at is drugs and cash money and all this illegal black money. Cash, people can find. You can't put it under the bed. If you put it under the bed, after 10 years, it's devalued. Bitcoin, you can transfer user to user, no one tracks it. So all the Hawala systems, all the Somali money, it's all Bitcoin now. So the more people use it, the more the valuation increases.
What has it? You saw that scam for, what was it called? Sebex or something.
That platform.
90B. So apparently guys are hiding it through crypto.
The problem with platforms is, especially in Kenya, it doesn't matter. Most of the platforms are resellers because no one is going to go and deal directly with S&P 500. There's a machine at the back end which deals with you and you resell and you get a percentage. That's how it's all covered up. So if someone wants, you put all your assets through their money, someone rouses stuff, what's the security you have? The biggest risk I've heard about crypto is it's digital. What if there's a virus that comes in and someone wipes it? But it's the same thing as saying, what if a plane lands on this building? Life is risk. Just decide where you want to put your risk.
Let me ask Kibe, what would you not do for cash? What are you not willing to do? If someone came and told you, I have this scam or finesse.
It has to be something that, it has to be an example. Like,
Okay, let's. I think a good question is: you have 10 million shillings today. What do you do with it?
10 million is not that much.
those are two very different questions. Because if he's asking, am I willing to sell my diabs for money? Sidio.
Yes. What are you not willing to do?
Sorry, I missed it. Yeah, sorry.
And in the Kenyan context, what I mean is, you've talked about politics, entering politics. So what version of that is there for you, Kibe? Is it a money thing? Is it a change thing? And what are you not willing to do?
And if you get to the seat, is there space for Eric and I?
I don't think there's anything I'm willing to do for money.
For power.
Yeah, I'm not willing to do it for money. I think power is more alluring to me. Yeah. Power is everything. Once you have power, bro, you can print money. And look at what the U.S. is doing. U.S. is going to print money to buy Bitcoin. Imagine how much of a hack that shit is. Just think about that. It doesn't matter how much Bitcoin is. U.S. can print money today to buy Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was to get to $300,000 per Bitcoin. So get the power. So I think there's a lot of power that is lying dormant in Kenya. So I think that power is waiting for us to pick it. So yes. So there's the question is, what would I not do for money?
Or rather, also, what are you angling for in terms of
Political
we're
side,
in Kenya?
Yeah.
No, I would want the big seat.
President?
I want the presidency.
So you want to become president?
Yes.
Is this something?
I think that's the only way this makes sense. Otherwise, without presidency, how are you going to turn around a country like this?
Okay, so let's say the end goal is presidency. What are the steps right now to get to the seat? What are we doing? And I say we because
You gave
ukifika presidency, lazima your boys, man. Tuna coffee, look at this.
You can confirm this is a
Vice
simulation.
president, may don't mind a position over there. Just something small.
Why do you think I have it in me if it's not a reality? Why would I talk about it? And I'm not talking about it now, the first time.
Okay,
I
so
talked about it over the years.
Okay, so the question is, what are the steps to do that? But maybe the precursor to that is, did this come during Right 47?
No. I've always thought I'll make a very good president, even when I was much younger.
Do you know right now, funny?
I've always seen myself there. I've always known that I will be the greatest president that ever lived.
Do you know right now, if they let you actually run, the way Kenya is right now, literally you could win. If they don't kill you. I feel like guys would even vote for you just as a middle finger to the establishment.
And we would probably do a great job at it. Because, look at the people that we have around us. You see what I'm saying? Look at the people we have around us. These guys are still holding on to legacy media. The other day I had Ruto talking about DeepSeek. I was like, what do you know about DeepSeek, Mr. Ruto? You were just reading a speech.
I texted, this is not a name drop, but I texted the governor, Jana. Just, he did JKL. It was so generic. It was that whole, we've done this many things. I'm like, bro, first of all, this script, you said it last time. It's the same one. A few tweaks here and there. And then it was sounding allegedly like, even Jeff sounded like, you were given a script to follow, man. You're pretending to ask hard questions. So I was trying to tell him, boss, guys want to see you in a real, raw format. He needs to start doing podcast runs, man.
I've asked him.
He's scared, eh?
Aye. Bro, so when you're stealing, when you have food in your mouth, you don't talk. When you have food in your mouth, you don't talk. So all these guys, and maybe this is what has not been getting through. All these guys have come from outside to eat. We are the only ones who care about what's happening to this country. We're the only ones who give a shit because we're the only ones who actually do the work. You are building yourself. You're building yourself. You're going to work every day. You're paying your taxes. You want better roads, better services, better everything. For you, it matters because you have traveled the world, you know what you want to see. These guys are not going to give it to you. They have never seen it. They go out of the country to go fuck and then come back. Because they know if they do it here, they'll be seen. You don't need to do that.
Kenya ni ofisi.
Kenya, for them, Nairobi is where they come to collect. And then they go back to shags, distribute to their few people, and then go out of the country. We saw what happened with the Nakuru governor. A governor going to give birth in another country.
Man.
Just think about that.
The nerve.
The nerve. There's this lady called Millicent Omanga.
What does she do, man?
Nobody knows what she does, but
What does
every
she
few months, she's going to Chomoa Moti and tell you, oh, God has blessed me with this new car.
In fact,
it's God.
You say it because you say it. I know we're thinking here right now on the same wavelength. Whenever I see those pictures with some gospel song in the background, she's dancing, it's a new car. It looks like pillow talk. Nibaye gari. Because what does she do? How do
you explain those things?
Yeah, a new car. And then now the guy I empathize.
Listen, a car that cost 15 million. I agree you can buy yourself shit. Okay? But if I see some shit that's not making sense to me, like now if you come here and you have a Patek that cost $177,000.
Yeah, that's a bit sus.
I'm going to ask you, hey, so what's happening there?
What do you think is happening there?
Bro, what,
I want you to say it. I don't want to say it. I'm scared.
Okay, this has been going on. These guys who come from shags, and I know this is going to sound very horrible. These guys who come from shags have no scruples whatsoever. When they come into Tao, they're coming to steal.
They have no finesse.
They don't know what finesse is. So then they come in and they steal and they want to catch up as fast as possible. And they want to wear the Pateks, they want to wear those shades. They don't know, maybe you bought those shades $10. But you kizungu yako is kizungu of nini. Then they assume you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth and I better rush to get that silver spoon for myself and for my other fucking kids.
But our governor is not a shags guy, man.
Our governor is from Islands.
He's an Islando guy.
He's an Islando guy. So he still has the same stupid victimhood. Where everybody, the first time before you open your mouth, I've never heard you saying that and I've never heard you saying that. Where you talk about your background and how things were bad when you were a kid. Because they were not bad.
It's a system also that maybe the system is so sick and corrupted that if you try and change it, you end up buried, right? So you rather than fight against it, to move along, you get along. Let's just do whatever needs to be done. Maybe that's the system. Maybe if you were to enter politics, if we were to enter politics, shut up. Do what you need to do.
When did you ever hear somebody speak the way you're speaking in politics?
Very rarely.
Nobody in parliament is going to stand and speak your English or yours or mine. You'll never hear them speaking your English. These are people from... Bro, I know it sounds bad. Yeah? But these are not our people.
I think one guy that surprised me who talked like that was on your podcast recently. The name is slipping.
My recent one?
Babu. Babu was very... I mean, his tone has changed as well. He was very open.
Babu is a very relaxed guy.
Yeah. So
and he's smart.
And he's extremely sharp. Yeah. And he came to Nairobi to learn. But Babu is from Shags also.
Yeah. From
Nyalenda. What's his name? Jalango is from Shags as well.
To counter that notion, our previous Gava, guys, there's nothing more silver spoon than that. Than the guy who was...
Uru's from Shags.
Really?
Uru's kids would do very well if they became, if they went into leadership.
Uru was not a Shags guy, man.
Uru was a Shags guy, not just a Shags guy, plus a mama's boy. So that's a double whammy.
But you know, I always say, because genuinely, man, and I keep this one specific to the governor, I genuinely thought, you know, there's an ounce of utu and goodwill and some form of change he would bring. I thought,
Sakaja.
I don't know, because of age, perhaps, I thought even but is it that you enter there and you get captured immediately? Because think about the money.
It's a web, right?
When Kibe did a live with the former governor, and somehow the governor leaks at 50
How much
mic
money?
per day. 50 mic.
And that was then. Imagine now what it is.
That's just from county.
And that's the transition. Remember, again, you said it on your podcast, is we went from millions to hundreds of millions to billions.
Now we're in trillions.
Now we're in trillions.
And as long as you guys keep hearing those figures, then you remain pacified because they're just zeros and ones. So as long as they just keep throwing figures at you, then those figures don't matter. But they actually matter to us because we are the ones who care about what's happening in the country. But the people who've just come to take, then figures are figures. 1 million, 10 million. You see, right now you gave me a figure of 10 million. Somebody somewhere is listening, wondering, only 10 million. 10 million is what we make from selling pencils to one ministry. So the person who's being fucked is B and you. We're the ones who are being screwed. Everybody else is playing their game. The people on the ground and the people who are going to the people on the ground are playing their game. You and I have never been on the ground, and we shall never be.
So do we join the quote-unquote orgy, ama we just keep whining from outside? Like we
No.
join...
You see right now
So
we have this.
we're joining Kibe's orgy though.
No, it
And,
happens.
and you see why I'm the godfather? Because I'm the godfather of this shit, at least in Kenya.
The originator.
Because we started this. This is our way of talking. They would never allow us to go to mainstream media. You had to exist here. You could not exist there.
There's
They cannot
not.
allow you to exist there because that is their forte. Kenya School of, what's it called? Media. Kenya Media.
Kenya Media School.
Multimedia.
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 Yeah.
Who do you think goes to multimedia? It's people from Shags. So who do you think gets into mainstream media? It's people from Shags. Then they go clean up the accent there. And then before you know it, they're the ones who are now leading the narrative. Where are you and I? Lazy ass motherfuckers.
But you see, I don't want to pontificate because you get 50 million a day access would change any man or shake you at the core. Access to 50 million a day. Imagine that.
But then again, think about
Tempting
it.
slope.
Think about it. If you have no scarcity mentality, then 50 million is for your people.
So I agree with that in the sense that
Yeah.
if you've grown up in wealth and you
Not even in wealth. In
Decent.
family,
Yes.
yeah, 1 million or 10 million or 100 million, there's a very slow, subtle shift in your persona. But then again, if you're from someone who didn't have that scarcity mentality, where again, I see this at exhibitions, right? When we normally go into a conference, you can seriously tell who's from where by what they take up at the exhibition stand. So, they give free diaries. So you'll see one guy, free diary, no, I'm okay. Free pen, no, I'm okay. Such I'm coming with like 50 of them, anaweka ndani. Mkona pen extra. Leta hii, anaweka.
Scarcity.
That's so, imagine that with money now in politics and you've been given power.
So that thing is deep down, eh?
Power amplifies who you are.
Bruh. So now imagine this guy is willing to take diaries to go. He doesn't know what he wants to do with them, but he's just going to get them.
He just wants them.
Yeah. And hopefully maybe he might even sell maybe for 10, 20 shillings or whatever. You imagine that guy is given any position or he gets somewhere and he starts growing with that mentality. That mentality is never leaving him. This guy has trauma of the latrine. He has trauma of going back shags. He never wants to go back shags.
But I think for poverty,
So as long as that mentality remains inside you, then it could also be one thing. It could motivate you,
Yes.
yeah, to move ahead. And also it could corrupt you because then you must win.
But the fear of poverty is real. There was a time my elder bro had to tell off my paps because my dad grew up poor. And he used to like posturing around. We grew up, then my bro was
hate
like,
that
you guys,
shit,
you've been
yeah.
richer longer than you've been
Yeah,
poor.
yeah.
So how your story? Like when that was 50 years ago. But there's a real fear of, he still has it. You get, he's done well for himself. Till today, he still has that fear that I can end up, back there, walking barefoot. You get so I think there's PTSD.
So you imagine now every decision that is made with that kind of mentality. Imagine if, like the way they say, like when you're kids, like when we were kids, it was easy to learn anything. It was easy to learn how to ride a bicycle because your memory there's no memory to kick in. You see, memory is one which reminds you, oh shit, remember the pain from last time? But this kid doesn't have that memory. It's not checked in here. So the kid can try many times
Yes.
the same thing over and over again until they perfect it.
Okay.
So memory is a very dangerous thing. That's why men need to learn how to do what? To forget. Or crush it. Whatever is happening with you. Like now, it doesn't matter what's going on with you in your family, in your relationship. Right now, we are here. It doesn't matter, bro. There could be auctioneers knocking at your door. You as a man, you're supposed to take that shit and crush it and put it up your ass and pretend it's not happening. And pretend like, bro, your life is not upside down.
Take it in the chin.
Take it in the chin. Because if you show weakness, what do you call it?
That taking it in the good analogy. I mean, so we've agreed that this web in politics, that access to funds and power amplifies who you are, right? We agree that there's change that's needed. Now the seat is over there. Kibe wants to get to the seat. What does Kibe need to do to get to the seat? What are the steps? And what are we doing to help him?
This is a start.
Go to
for sure, this is a
all
start.
the podcasts that are aligned with my way of thinking, and this is one of them. So for me, when you told me we can do this, I was like, please make sure this motherfucker is here. Because for us, the word motherfucker doesn't... Aitusumbui. Do you know I was arrested for calling the cops motherfucker?
COVID.
The time of COVID?
Yeah.
So I remember there's a lady who was in the DCI. She kept looking at the video. You guys, I was in her office. And she's a big DCI right now, so probably she's going to arrest me again. Unaita polisi motherfucker wewe. Unaita Somali. Unaita polisi motherfucker. You guys, that time I done a video, I was so pissed off. Yeah, but
you get this.
But motherfucker is not. It's language. We use that. So the people who don't understand motherfucker or fuck or shit or whatever it is, then these are not our people.
Do you fear the state? And the reason I'm asking that is
The deep state.
the reason I'm asking. I know a guy. There's a gentleman well known, J-Dub, who's been talking about odious debt. Boss, this last cycle, I know how that guy was harassed. I even knew where he was like holed up for a while. They kicked him out of his house. You guys. He had to stay at some club somewhere for like a month or two. You guys, the state also is not too, and that's J-Dub. Now you and me. Do you ever fear the state?
I mean, you do what you gotta do.
Do you love Kenya enough?
Based on your conviction. It's not about whether I love Kenya or not. It's am I convicted enough? Do I believe in what I'm saying? Yes or no? If I don't believe, then why would I play the game? If I believe in it, then go in there and fight.
So here's the thing. Again, you need a big enough push, a big enough support to make change, and also to get to the point where you're untouchable. That's where I want to bring up Yafreeka, if you'll allow me. It's a segue, but it's also in relation to this. I know on the back end I've been working on Yafreeka.
Yeah.
And at the time we were looking at establishing it as a YouTube competitor, right? And I did travel around. I met with a few VCs. I met with a few folks who were very interested in you as a person, cloud companies that are willing to give credit. The issue is YouTube is already established. From an infrastructure standpoint, investing in it would cost a lot and it would take time to recover the money. So the flip side is they were suggesting, and they were looking at folks like Andrew Tate, is why don't we transform Yafreeka into an educational platform?
Yeah.
Right? So you as a persona still have a very strong following. There are people who listen to you, there are people who tune into you, there are people who message me and him saying, bring back Kibe. Now to convert that following and telling them that we can use this platform to teach you how to get out of poverty, the lessons learned, not a straight educational platform, something that's very specific to the doctrine of Kenya, to the systems of Kenya, how you bootstrap yourself, a course like that, and use Yafreeka as that platform to educate the populace, the young men who are looking up to you. I think then once you establish that, once you have that following, financial independence aside, the community you build of people who will come to rally behind you because they've actually got something from you. And you look at it as a university education. How much is university fees these days? If you go to USIU, it's like 150K a term. That's still a lot for a lot of young men. Young men who have nothing to go for.
So you charge a fraction of that?
Again, I've not thought about it, but imagine you're charging 2,000 bob a week. Or I'm just throwing it at the top of my head. But you get an access to, all right, how would you use AI? AI to make money. Use AI free to step up stuff. How to my logo, for example, CoffeePump, AI, free AI, the free AI software. If I went to a photographer or designer guy, he was charging me 80,000 bob already, using AI to develop logos for people to make money. People don't talk about that stuff. And in Kenya, don't tell me internet is not accessible. Safaricom has put a phone in everyone's hand. That phone is on a camera. What we're on Facebook, on Snapchat, they can fucking access that. But we just need to put those steps down. Get those people to start learning how to make money, to become men, to understand what it means to value the relationships. I think if we transform Yafreeka to that, a subscription-based education platform, that's also a pivot in getting you now towards the political seats. Again, I went off on a rant, but that's a
really good tangent.
It's good to hear you, to hear your thoughts. I don't know whether I would say that's where I'm going, but we had a discussion about this, and I told you the last 2 months I took some time off to write my book. Okay.
Yes.
So in 2020, after I came back from Stato, that's when I quit KISS and I started Rogue Radio. Now, during that time I was doing Rogue Radio, I went completely broke. I didn't have a thing. Things were really horrible at the time. So I've had a lot of those transitions where I have to find my own way again, and So at the time, I got this conviction to write down a few points. And I wrote down 28 points. Like, thou shalt not do this and this. Now I was talking to myself. 28 different points.
At different periods or like?
Bro, I sat down one day. And that time, I think I was in the studio by 7 o'clock. And I was like, this is bullshit. This Rogue Radio is not working. What would I tell myself if it was to go back 20 years? Which mistakes have I made? Because I don't have any kids at the time who are over 20 years. So I write my shit, and I get to 28. And after I finish 28, you guys, it's like I had come. I was like, fuck it, I'm done with that list.
Busted the nut, eh?
I busted a nut.
Philosophical
nut.
Yeah, and there are only 28 points, just 28 sentences. I didn't even go in depth with all that. So a few months back, I'm thinking, okay, I've done Ride 47. What's my next move? Right? I've done these videos. I've said everything that I want to say. What's my next move? So I get talking with some two guys, and the guy tells me, remember those 28 commandments you had put up? Remember that shit you should exploit. I was like, coming to think of it. Then I went back and looked at that shit. I was like, man, here's the book. I've been working on it for 3 years and I didn't know. This is the book. Because everything that I had put there are things that, these are some of my best videos. These are the videos that went most viral. They were all there. I was like, shit, this is crazy. So then I took each point and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I said, now I'm happy with this. Quick chapters, the lesson. And then I'll tell you one thing, I've also put a movie. So each movie and the lesson inside the movie. So it's a one lesson per week, one chapter per week, 28 weeks, 28 chapters. Yeah. Because one chapter is enough for us to just do 1 week.
Right.
Without giving away, of course, the whole book. Can we go at least through one?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. One or two.
One or two of the chapters.
Yes.
We can do that.
And when is the book coming out, Kibe?
I'm hoping I'll be done. Today we're doing the shoot for the cover. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Where's that guy? He left.
Oh, by the way, you remember Kim?
Yeah, I remember Kim. Hey, what's up, Kim? How you doing, man? I saw him earlier. I was like, I know this fucker.
I think he's on that side.
Yeah, so there's this guy from Shakti. He was doing the shoot for because I'd done a whole cover. And then yesterday I was told, you know what? People don't really want to read the book. They just want to buy it because it's you. I was like, fuck you guys.
Guys want to support.
Yeah, guys want to support, but it's been
utatupatia discount code E041 and CoffeePump, eh? 10% off.
I'm definitely buying too, at least.
Yeah, at least for him and Mama.
Yeah.
These guys. You don't have Mama.
Iko nayo.
Kona wa mama.
So pick a chapter between 1 and 28.
I'll say 16. Lucky number 16.
69 for 20. That's your password, yeah? So which one is?
So this one is apprenticeship of a degree.
Already sounds profound.
Yeah.
There we go. You see?
So
it's things I've said, and this one
Practical.
Rather than chasing a degree, chase someone who you want to emulate.
I mean, like if the fastest way to make money and to be good at what you do is to go to a professional, sit under a professional. The person who's teaching you in school is not a professional. They're a teacher.
Dame Dash says this. You know Dame Dash?
Yeah.
Dame Dash talks about how you in a school for finance being taught by a guy who's not wealthy.
Wow. How you been taught by a guy who's not a director how to do film? The only way you learn is on the job. Go to someone, because I'm talking about something I've done. So when I wanted to get into photography, so this is what I did. So I went online and I looked at people who do photography, and I started learning how to do photography. Then we bought me and my partner called Pete. Through our company, we went and bought a whole kit for photography. And because I was the one who was interested in it, I started learning. And then I thought, how best can I learn? I went to a guy in Tao, Anniversary Towers. I told him, listen, every wedding you go from now on, whatever gig you have, I'm going to shadow you. And then after that, I'll give you access to my photos in case there's an angle that you have not gotten. But you critique me and tell me, here, do this, use this aperture, use this lighting, you get this lens, whatever. So just do that for however long it takes. And we did that for 2 months. And I would give him all my photos and would sit there and he would tell me, okay, change this. And my photos got better. At the time when I started, I was charging 30K. By the time I was getting out of that business, I was charging 200K.
And do you know how I know for a fact that works? My current producer. So the previous guys I was working with for like my first, Fox. Yeah. My first like 4 episodes. At some point they started acting a bit funny. So I called a former colleague of mine. He came. I told him, there's this opportunity. 0 production experience. He shadowed them for 3 episodes, took over. This guy has never gone to school for media. Right now, he's doing a better job than they were.
Thank you.
Which is amazing. I mean,
So
compliments to the
for
guy.
a fact, it actually works. But how do you navigate the bureaucratic side of getting employed, for example?
But now again, you have to understand who you're working with. Because right now, papers don't mean shit. Right now, this internet doesn't need papers. Where have you been asked to produce papers? Are you interesting? Can you hold a conversation? Can you keep people's attention? Nobody gives a shit about papers. So right now, what can you do? The people that I've employed, I have never asked anybody for their CV. I asked them, show me what you can do.
Correct.
The guy who came to do the photography today, he just sent me his portfolio. I told him, let's meet here.
You didn't ask him for a CV.
I didn't ask him for a CV.
To a resume.
Show me the photos that you've taken. Then today he came and he proved himself here.
Does that work in flying where I say, let me fly for you? And then you give me
Well,
I mean,
so unipatie plane tuende bana nikuchukue
but you know,
Naivasha.
CV is also, even in the a super professional environment, it's known that an interview is 2 guys lying to each other. The interviewer and the interviewee. This guy is promising the world. I'm also promising the world. Yeah.
And I've told you this story, but adding on to this point, it's again about being proactive. So when I came back, my CV wasn't the strongest, and I wanted to get in the tech industry.
Came back from
I had gone to Wales to do masters.
okay.
So when I came back, I wanted to. I managed to snag a look into this company that I currently work for, which was tech based, and I know nothing about tech. And I didn't want to do it, but then
So what was your master's in?
MBA, just a standard MBA. And I had got a scholarship to go and do it. So I was like, might as well just do it. A good opportunity to get out of the country and just experience that. So
See some extremely white Mzungu chicks.
some Welsh mamas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But where I was, it was an old town. So they were 80 and above. So there was once when, this is segueing for the story, but during New Year's, there were firecrackers going on. My boss, Liz, when I used to suffish toilets, she's like, see, your people like explosions. I'm like, yeah, they do. Then I'm like, hey, what do you mean? So with that point, when coming to this job, the guy is like, look, you don't know anything, show me what you know. He wanted to know about the banks, where their data centers were. So literally being proactive, bribing secretaries with cakes and flowers to get to the CIO, to get information about where their data center is. So after 1 week being proactive and doing that, managed to snag me the job, right? So again, in that element, practicality, go out, do stuff. Just because you have the degree does not mean you'll get something at the end of it, right? That's adding on to that. But maybe
But you know what you're saying? It sounds very easy because you know what you're talking about. It's like those guys who have that natural swag. Okay? Those guys who are just natural with women. They can teach how to talk to women, but there's nothing they're doing that is teachable. It's innate in them.
yes.
Okay? So these are some of the things that even when you say
yeah.
that this person has a drive or this person can think out, no, they can't. These guys are living campus with an inability of solving very basic problems.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's also the Gen Z aspect of it, where everything comes easy? It's the TikTok stuff. Is
I mean, there's no interaction between men and their kids.
I think 844 as well.
Yeah.
844.
I think 844
We
played
are
a-
victims of 844.
Yeah, but we survived. We survived.
So you can't be
It's not 844.
You know what I saw
The
that-
system itself is just rubbish.
844 Saints was different,
you know,
right?
you know what I saw the
You
other
guys
day?
were in sense.
Tulikuwa pamoja.
You know what I saw the other day? You saw that clip of Pastor Nganga slapping some guy.
What?
It took... he slapped a guy.
This is the Jama we saw in Karen.
Yeah.
Amka. Amka na makofi yako ya takataka. Toka hapa, enda nyuma huko. Kwenda nyuma.
Is this guy the pastor?
you guys
Hakuna
don't get it.
Ducati bike, gold chains, sijui nini.
The guy slapped
That
a
guy's
guy
living the life, man.
for falling asleep
Yeah.
in church.
Yeah.
And then...
He
as soon-
slapped a-
He slapped the guy. And as soon as he slapped the guy, the lady who was seated next to the guy, when he approached her, she said, he asked her, why didn't you wake this guy up? And she responded like, no, I was so focused on you, I didn't notice you're sleeping.
Na wewe kwa nini analala hapa na namuona? Yeah? Si una concentrate na nini? Una concentrate na namwacha analala hapa. Amka hata wewe. Toka.
It just took me back to like primary school, that setup of the teacher and the students and the fear. And they managed to segment us in a way. Couldn't think.
So sorry to sidetrack. This Pastor Nganga Jama. Nikuulize ni biashara. Is it
What do you
because
mean? What do you mean?
it is, right?
What do you mean?
Kibe,
What a question. Ask a better question.
Why don't we open up a church?
No, is that a question or an answer?
No, but this guy does a lot of good. You know that.
Okay, so I mean, I understand the thing. So the thing that confused me was when we had gone for lunch, he was very excited to see this guy. He's like, that's the Jama.
No, not like I was shocked.
Shock
I
is
was
the
the only
right one.
black guy in that setting. This is a
a
proper KC
Karen
joint
Uko,
in
mm.
Karen, hidden, tucked away. These guys almost have tucked it
See,
in a way.
he was wearing like a
Karibu
LV,
those no
LV
black
thing.
sign almost.
And
Then
he
I'm
was-
seeing
And then he was looking at you like, what's this
Pastor
Jama doing
Nganga,
here?
and I'm the one, I could see why he goes there because I'm the one who recognized him. Even Saj was like,
Was he having a pint?
no,
No, he was with his kids.
young
Yeah?
toys. He was having a smoothie, you get.
A smoothie, a green smoothie, a purple smoothie. That's the one. So I was surprised that he's so cluttered out. He's slapping, but he's extravagant. He's this. If it's a show and he's found a way to play the system,
Bro, it's a show. Listen, Nairobi is like Hollywood. Okay? Bring your best show. There's a guy we did a book for. It's called John Kibera. So John Kibera, I don't think we ever did that book. But he used to talk about how he robs graves.
what?
He's a grave robber.
Or of clothes and
No, so he would look at the rich people who are getting buried. So when they bury him, he goes, he steals the coffin and the clothes, and then he just leaves the body there. So whatever they're buried with, he takes.
You know, Waislamus don't have grave robbers, yeah?
Yeah.
Kwa sababu tunawekea kwa cloth na tukunatupa.
That's why he has no business with Muslims. So he used to steal. But the funny thing was, he used to give his story outside archives. You know archives?
yeah.
You don't know archives.
Huko tao?
Oh, okay. Mwindi unajua archives aje?
Have you been in a mat, Saj?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
A couple of times.
But now it's the...
For a vlog. huh?
This is
He must have been vlogging.
No.
Look at how we do it in Africa. Yeah?
I can't afford business class, so I do Uber vans just to feel some semblance of hope.
I know what you mean. So this guy was doing he stands on the street there and he starts giving the story. Every day. He stands same place, gives the story. But I went there 2-3 times and his story kept changing. I'm like, hey, Negro, what's going on?
So you take your time to listen. Like you
So to me, I'm the author. I'm the publisher. So now I'm trying to learn about this guy, how we're going to do the book and everything. And he invited us to come and see what I do. So I went there 2-3 times, and I'm looking at the people who are listening to him. And this guy's story is changing every day. So one day, so the third day I asked him, hey, bro, but yesterday you said this. He said, hey, listen. There are 4 million people in Nairobi. It will never be the same motherfucker passing through here. Allah, forgive me. Fair enough. Your story can be whatever it's supposed to be. Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Talk to me about another lesson in the book. You pick number 16.
That was
So you pick 16, yes?
that was a nice one.
Yeah.
Very applicable.
Pick another number.
So between 1 and 28.
Lucky number 12. Another lucky number for me.
Number 12.
12.
Number 12.
Oh, this is good.
Ni number ya Babi. Is it any relation to Babi?
Nah.
Okay. I think 69 is not a number. You know what his passcode is? 69420.
Oh, your guy.
Gen Z.
420.
Yeah. Does he look like me, by the way? That's the younger brother.
Yeah, when I saw him coming in, I was like, no.
No.
Yeah.
Ni budget version.
It's the bootleg version.
You said number 12.
Number
yeah?
12.
Number 12. Yeah.
The number 12 is a good one. Is a man is always brand new.
Expound.
What does that mean?
Our clock is not the same as women's clock. We have a very different clock. Okay? A man can always reinvent himself anytime. Even if he was in prison, a man can always reinvent himself. He can always be brand new. A man can disappear in Wales, come back as a whole new thing. Yeah. I mean, you can walk away right now, Eric, from your relationship like this today and disappear and be brand new.
Is it like the
Touch up, huh?
I know your wife is here, but are you get what I'm saying?
yeah? Is it the wine versus bananas? You know, they say men age like wine, women age like bananas.
Yes. So for women, it's
Guy.
extremely sensitive.
You know, the funny thing is she's looking at me. Saying, you're the motherfucker that set this podcast up. Look what this was saying.
I can feel the heat, bro.
It's all love. But yeah, that for
Because for us, we don't have a womb, so we don't have a clock.
So it's
For
never
us, it's
too late.
about how you can develop this. If you fix this, oh, bro. And the earlier you fix this, the better your life is going to be. So for us, we can reinvent ourselves. When things are not working out, you can start afresh. You can shift. You can move. You can do anything. Because even when you have kids, those kids are not inherently, you're not tied to them.
But then so I've seen you see guys walk away and start a new family. No harm, no foul. No attachment.
But men don't know that. Men don't know that. So you have to get to an age, like you're almost 50, that's when it's hitting you, that you can always be brand new. That's why they talk about midlife crisis. Because they're trying to shame you for having to reinventing yourself and correcting the mistakes that you made 15, 20 years ago. So when you start correcting your mistakes, then they say, oh, shit. You've seen Eric Asai dressing up like a young guy. You see Eric Asai buying cars that he wants to buy. You see, he's going out with the women that he wants to go out with, to places he wants to go. But what you've done is you've realized that you are living your life for other people. Now you can live your life for yourself. So that 15,000 shoe, you can buy it.
You might as well.
Because you're using 15,000 for everybody else.
Right.
Because a man has been taught from the time he's young that his life is a life of sacrifice to others, not to himself. So he will deny himself every day to give to other people around him. And then now what happens is, maybe you guys don't know this, but now in our old age, you have nothing, and the people you gave to are now supporting other things and not you.
You know where this rings true also? When you look at even how women and men look at even finances, I tend not to worry. Guy, I've been broke. I've been flat broke severally. I've been broke longer than I've had money. I know I can survive on almost nothing. So like for me, I don't panic about, I don't know how I'm gonna, it'll figure itself out, And that's a very different thing from a woman's outlook.
There is the stability again, but the fine line is that's changing.
What do you mean?
The younger men, the men that you see, again, less masculine tendencies, more feminine tendencies. That's changing. If you look at, for example,
Which you're saying they're now more feminine now?
Yeah,
of course,
more feminine, right? And that requires a hard rewire. By the way, speaking of hard rewire, maybe it's hypnosis. We'll talk about hypnosis. But what do you do to such people? Because is it for them to fail, hit the ground, realize, fuck, now I need to reboot? Because a lot of people are very comfortable in this day and age.
A lot of us have to go through character development first.
Correct.
Yeah, so something must happen for you to wake up. So many of them will listen to this podcast and it'll just be in through here to the other side. Okay? So those, don't worry about them. They'll find their own way.
Find their own way.
But there are these young men who are longing to hear the voice of another man. It has not been there. It has been denied to them. Because even the men in their lives, remember, are subservient to the mother. So the mother brings men she knows she can control. So when she brings those men, she has dominated them. And when she dominates the man, then she still remains the powerful woman. That's why this boy wants to be the woman. He doesn't want to be the man because men are not strong in her life. But if there were men who were strong, then why would he want to be a woman? You go to where there is security. And if man is offering security, then you'd rather be a woman.
Your tendencies are that way.
Yes. So these boys are gravitating towards their mothers because their mothers are the ones who have been providing and doing everything for them. But if there's a voice that is bigger than their mothers, a way that is better, a way that is more masculine that understands them, then they'll pick that way.
So it's I think that particular one is very powerful because it's a tune that's at a frequency only the desperate can hear. Those that are
Yes, unless you're drowning, you have
unless you're
to
drowning.
be that shit.
you've hit the shit, you found yourself. He's gone through it, right? In that aspect, it's you just have to have that wisdom after getting drowned to know that you need to get up and
It's
get right.
the
you know?
most formative thing. I think it's the most important thing for a human being to be quote unquote broken.
Yeah.
It's
For a man.
for a man.
For women, it doesn't work too well.
Which is a good way to sort of, again, that's a very good point to segue to therapy. What do you think of therapy? And again, there's the reason I'm asking this because I recently had a hypnotherapist on my podcast. And I just wanted to understand what it is. You know, the one where you put people in a trance and you can make them do things. But she does it from a perspective of healing. It was very interesting. I said, okay, but I don't believe it.
Did you test it?
She gave me a free session. Wow. Kibe, nakwambia. Remember a guy that doesn't believe in these things. It was, so what she does is she sits with you and she understands what you need, who you are, your problems. You're dealing with money, you're dealing with multiple women, you're confused. So she paints a scenario and she puts you in a calm state and walks you. By the end of it, I was in like this anime dark room with a bunch of people who I didn't like and hated. And she was guiding me in tethering them out of my life. And these people were not just people, but they were the proverbial stuff. Money, fame, this, that, everything. And she put it in such a way where all of a sudden the house exploded. And then there was this flaming, like these flames that came up from underneath. There was a picture of hell and me throwing these things out and letting go of them and burning. But by the time I woke up from it, I was in such a daze. And the weird thing is the next day at job, something that I never thought happened, it's like my positive energy attracted it. But then I asked her, how much do you charge? Hey, but mama charges a lot, I'll tell you offline.
But I'm curious, how did she get you to the transient state? Like, what's that?
Did she give you some coffee?
No. So what happens is there's some, so you sit down, she asks you to close your eyes. You're in a relaxed position, you're lying down. Yeah. And then she plays there's like some, the like copper vessels that make some noise, ting.
Those symbols.
And then you sort of attune, listen to my voice, go deeper, feel the energy going through you. All of a sudden, Purple Rain for
Prince.
When I'm there, I'm looking at clouds, it's raining, I'm relaxed, and then all of a sudden she's walking me through this place. I feel tears going through I didn't realize apparently I was crying. And it was a very weird experience. I'd recommend anyone to try it, but obviously the right hypnotherapist.
How safe is it? How do you know she didn't open your pants?
Do I look any different?
Maybe the guy was bombolewa. Why am I walking funny?
But the question was,
do you, therapy, like for young men, do you think they need it, those who are like seriously fucked up? Is it something that they should escape to?
They need some form of therapy. Especially the ones who are pissed off at their fathers. Because those ones are extremely dangerous. They've been taught to hate men. So they need to know that the men are not the problem in their lives. Neither are the women. The situation they just found themselves in that situation. So once you get to the age of a grown-up, then now you have to fix that problem for yourself. You cannot continue blaming everybody for what happened to you. So yes, it's a form of therapy, but it's not in-depth. It's more of whipping you back into shape. You get? How like when I was in primary school, we used to go for swimming. So Mr. Njoroge would not listen to your excuses because you have many excuses as to why you can't swim. You don't want to swim. It's a lesson like any other. You don't want to do it.
I was called Mr. Joroge.
Gold.
Oh yeah.
And it's cold. It's the second lesson in the morning.
You don't.
But this guy doesn't listen to you. He throws you in and you figure yourself out from there. But now most of the time you'd find that you'd figure it out.
Yeah.
But not from outside,
From inside.
from inside.
from jumping inside.
So many of these boys are in this situation. And all they need is just a whip or two to wake them up, wake up and go to work. Figure it out there. The problem is too complex for us to sit down and talk about it. It's for you to walk yourself out of it. It's too complex for me to fix you. I cannot fix you in one day. We have to walk together out of this problem, whatever the problem is. And it starts by first forgiving the people who fucked you in your life. That is your father and your mother.
In a way, that's what the hypnotherapist said. Is what's the root issue? Why are you feeling this way?
Yeah.
Those tethers cut them off, and that's when that proverbial hell came, and these guys are all burning. So, I mean, yeah, it's
So
that.
once you let go of that, and many of us have a problem with our mothers, we don't even know it. So it's not something people want to discuss. We pretend we love our mothers. We don't love our mothers. We hate them. We can't stand them.
You don't love your mother?
No, we don't. We don't. I'm not talking about myself.
Okay.
Because when you talk about
Because you're saying we, I'm like Konnichiwa French.
we pretend we do, but we don't even know what love is. Because we're still dealing with the trauma, bro. How are you going to cross from trauma to love? When did you deal with this issue here? Because we can see this issue every day in your life. How are you telling us you are here? I love my mother, but you cannot tell her the truth. You and your mom have a relationship of lies.
Yeah.
How can love exist where there are lies? It's impossible. Deal with the issue, whatever the issue was, and then find out if this is going to happen. Because this is a lie. As long as you've never dealt with the issue, which is forgive your mom for whatever she did, whatever mistakes she made. She was trying her best. Forgive your dad for not being there, whatever you thought of him. You know, maybe your mom told you he died, grisly accident, or he was a deadbeat. Whatever you think, that is none of your business. Heal from that. Forgive those two people and move on. And
Have
now,
you forgiven your mom?
yes, I did.
So you guys are cool?
Yeah, and no, we're not cool.
You're cordial?
Forgiveness has nothing to do with whether you're going to be cool or not. You don't have to be cordial. You don't even have to speak again. Because forgiveness is me releasing you. It's not you changing who you are. You can continue being an asshole all you want, but it's no longer my problem. I'm not carrying you with me everywhere I go. So if you're a nasty person, I'm going to release you, but I don't want anything to do with you.
You know, I hate to admit it, but there's so much truth in what you've said in terms of how we carry some of the traumas from our folks. And these guys, to be honest, now as an adult, for sure, we just know they were winging it. Also.
like generational baggage, or
Yeah, there's so many. They're human beings. You know, when you're growing up, you think parents know what they're doing.
I mean, if you're winging it now, you expect that your dad, who was 26, 27, getting 3 kids, knew what he was doing.
Do you know, sometimes I think about that.
Yeah, they didn't know what they're doing. You're in your 30s right now, you have no clue.
No clue.
Him, at 28, he had 4 kids. Just imagine how confused that motherfucker must have been. So you can't carry that guy in your heart. You can't carry the mistakes that he made. Because I see my mistakes. I look at my kids these days, I'm like, fuck. Should have chosen a different mother for you guys. You guys are fucked. But what can I do? What can I do? I fucked up. I know they're going to have issues. At some point, I'm going to have to ask my kids to forgive me. Forgive me because I fucked you up.
So on that aspect of, let's say you have kids, right? Getting married, obviously you have your take on this, but let's say you want to have kids. Finding that right woman, how important would that be? And what are sort of qualities you'd advise young men to look for in women who are looking to have kids? Because obviously they're tethered to their mother, and the mother can influence them heavily more than the father.
So if you're a mama's boy, you have no business being a married man or having children. You don't know what that means. You're going to fuck up the kids. So what you're doing is, that need is coming from your trauma. Because you want to fix something that went wrong in your life. That's why you want kids. Why would a man want kids? What are kids? Yeah, what are these things that you want? Like a woman. You have a womb. You know, women can say, I want kids.
Acha kucheka hapo, this guy was telling me he wants 2 kids.
No, we were discussing it off air.
Yeah.
And we were just a no holds back conversation. And I was talking about how my colleagues, a lot of them my age, some older, they have kids. And when you ask deep questions, because when we fly, we talk. Sometimes you just hear that these guys are in a loop that they can't remove themselves from. They had kids. They've done the honorable thing to just be responsible for them.
Unajua anasema the wife is over there saying,
No, but it's, at least with that, it's a conversation we've had even as well. Like, because it changes.
do you want kids though, Eric?
What does want kids mean?
Yes or no, just answer that. Answer that. Just because Kibe is here, don't pretend you're another guy.
There's an inertia from society to almost expect you to want kids, or it's like the natural thing to do. So there's a curiosity of, I wonder how having a kid would be. That's there.
You see how he's hiding
then
behind
you
big
see-
words.
Start with a dog.
But then you see,
Start with a dog, because a dog
Hands on a
takes
German
you
Shepherd, eh?
straight to a kid who's like 2 years.
By the way,
Yeah.
raising a dog.
Yeah. So it's not just straight to a kid who's 2
Bobby,
years. Then from there.
Yes.
from the one
Those Jack Russell terriers who hump your neighbor's legs. We get you 2 of those. You see how you.
And I talk to
father.
my friends who have, some of them are young fathers. Bro, it's the Wild West. I have a friend who, I mean, he's doing well for himself. The times he tells me he feels he's going crazy, but you're in it.
Bro, if you want to live a good life, you see right now you have a good wife. And she's your wife. Once you get toys, now you have to split that attention. So whatever you are getting, you may not even notice it, but now she's giving attention to the toys. She has to.
That podcast room of yours is gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, you cannot podcast.
Fuck that
We
shit.
need this room, my guy.
It will be
This could be a nursery.
instead of every other time with Eric, it's some other time with Eric.
Once a year.
Once a year, once a blue moon with Eric.
What's a blue moon with Eric?
When Mama is in a good mood.
And then you can hear the baby crying over there.
But I love the lessons we've touched on so far, man. Maybe one more you can choose from.
Yeah, one more. We can ask the people who are here.
Bobby, which number of between 1 and number 3?
Lucky number 3.
Lucky number 3.
And were you in a Zen state? Were you like on shrooms?
On Mihadaratis.
No, right, not
What's that?
Miadaratis, because Miadaratis.
Miadaratis
I'm
is
talking
what?
about Miadaratis is like drugs, but drugs has a negative connotation. I'm talking about more like a psychedelic kind of experience.
No, I wasn't. I think it was more of like a self-imposed trance out of, how to say it,
Introspection.
something like that. You know, like why isn't this working? What am I doing wrong? You know, so I went into this trance of question. Say, what if I had done this? What if I did this? What if I did this? That sounds like something I should say. That time I'd not blown up on YouTube. YouTube was still a dream. I used to do YouTube once in a while, but I was not seeing YouTube making sense. So there was nothing happening for me. My platforms were dead. Everything was not, I was not making money. So I was like, fuck, man, how do I get out of this? What if I was to write something? What is this I'm writing? And I wrote. So number 3 is I have to stop explaining myself.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, my wife is nodding.
Yeah.
Fun enough, because that ties a lot into people pleasing.
Too much.
I've
And
been
it's-
such a victim
yeah,
of that.
Yeah.
Living for the crowd, explaining things I don't even have to explain to people who don't even matter. You know, how do you free yourself of that? That's a very
You just call turkey. I don't need to explain myself. You just cut it.
I mean, what is that to explain? Like now, if somebody, there's a guy who used to come to my show. His name is Robert. Robert used to be a very big fan. And when Robert would come, he would bring all his energy and everything. So when we were building Yafreeka, the third time, I got into I dealt with the wrong people. And things never went the way I thought they would. Okay? So Robert was one of the people then. From a big fan to working together, to now, in his head, he considers me a con man. In his head. All this, he's going through these transitions by himself. And now he's pissed off at me, from being the person who loved me the most to being the person who hates me the most. What am I doing explaining myself to him? I never told him to love me. It's him. It's him who's dealing with his own demons. So deal with your own demons, whatever they are, whatever it is, whatever perspective you're seeing, whoever you think I am. But I cannot explain myself to you, not my mother, not my kids. I don't need to explain myself to anyone because I'm the only one who knows what the fuck is going on in my life. So when you bring somebody in your life that you have to explain yourself to, bro, you're fucked.
Damn.
So even in your relationships, you and your wife need to give each other space. That way you don't have to explain yourself to her. I just don't want to eat. But now for me to explain to you that I don't want to eat means that now I'm your slave. Now I have to sit here and explain to you. Like, where am I from? What do you mean, where am I from? Like when I had a wife, you get, I'm 7 years older than her, she's asking me, umetoka? Umetoka nini? What do you mean? I pay the house, the food, the clothes that you're wearing, including the underwear. I have bought that shit. How dare you? And I'm saying this from a point of, yeah, but in my head, it's very clear. Because as a man, you need to be free to do whatever the fuck you want to do. Is for the good of your wife, your kids, your family, everyone around you. That you remain that strong guy who doesn't need to explain yourself to people who are beneath you. You only explain yourself to somebody who's above you. Your wife can never be above you. Your mother can never be above you. Impossible. Your kids can never be above you. You don't need to explain yourself to your kids. You are the center of the universe. Everything comes from you. I mean, it sounds harsh, but what do
When
you
he
say?
talks, people listen.
What do you think?
From this other side.
You seem conflicted, Sad.
Shana.
No, because it's just so fucking weird. Everything he's talking about is what I went through in the hypnosis. Why are you explaining yourself to people? Why this generational wealth, carrying people's traumas, having to have the burden of friends and families and explaining what you're doing? It's deja vu. It's just my mind is a bit fucked right now. So maybe it's the energies. Maybe this was meant to be. It's weird. What
It's
you're
the
talking
time
about
right now.
is exactly what I went through that in that hypnosis stage. Is cut these fuckers off, man.
I'll give you a puny moment I had the other day. So I did a feature on Dr. Kingori. I mean, I just went there, kawaida, I just beat myself. So Juicy,
I watched it. Very good episode.
we land.
Yeah.
Some guy comes to the cockpit with his kids. He turns out he's a KQ crew. It's like, hey, by there, watch your content. Hey, lakini Juicy luchoma. I'm like, hey, because I said something around how there's no wealth in employment. That is a fact.
Yeah.
But then now I went carrying it for a while. I started second guessing myself. Like I felt like I need to explain to him. I'm like, who else was thinking about that? Did I rock the boat? So, and sometimes I have moments like that, and you can't be beholden to people who don't even know the intricacies of how you think.
Correct. Yeah,
And
agreed. 100%.
some guys just don't know.
And then this guy is getting you. Maybe you had a long, like now, look at us. We've been here for long. We can take one point and we can exploit completely. And then the guy wants you to explain
That
it
small
within.
snippet.
And he's just entering the plane and you are there. And you want to explain such a complex
Imagine that for you.
Concept?
You're at nearly 20,000 subscribers. Kibe is well known. So how many points do people take from that snippet and then fucking shit on him? So he's had to develop these calluses because you can have a firm opinion. There'll be two people who will be angry about it. There'll be two people who will be happy about it. That's the position you can take. Like, I keep bringing this guy up, the Jugu motherfucking guy.
Every episode.
Every episode. Remember when in your episode when you're kula in Jugu? The guy is like, how dare you kula Jugu in front of Kibe? It's unprofessional. Fuck him. That 30.
Who's this guy?
This guy has brought him up every episode.
So you remember how you're calling Mbachi balcony fucking cooking guy?
Yes.
So yangu ni Jugu motherfucking guy. So he jaman anatusumbua every episode we have to.
Just
We don't
Jugu.
have Jugu today, but fuck him. The other guy, remember 30,000 bob on your episode?
Yeah.
I was, and I want your opinion on this. I was saying 30,000 bob is not enough to live on. I mean, so it's not enough monthly if you really want to achieve something. And he was coming from the perspective of, I don't know how Bobby and I used to survive on 30,000 bob. And I said, yes, it's nothing. I just passed it off. It's nothing. You need to work harder to earn more if you want to have a good life. This guy is so delusioned. He's from a rich family. 30,000 bob is nothing. in the grand scheme of things in life, that motherfucker, now you see Kula and my Kicho, so I'm going off on a rant, but fuck him as well. I want your opinion on that. 30,000 bob.
In Kenya, man, that's...
Let's look at we're global citizens.
No, but again, think about it this way. Who are you talking to? Who's your audience?
98% men, young men.
No. Yeah, so who's your audience? You have to ask yourself who's your audience, how much do they earn?
So the demographic...
what do they,
Yeah, correct. So the demographic is between 18 to 35 years and majority in Kenya. And I'm pretty aware of the fact that 35,000 bob is what people live on every month. The perspective and the conversation we were having was, with the dreams and ambitions of this channel, if you're okay and content with earning 35,000 bob a month, tafadhali tembea na Yesu. This is not your channel. That's the perspective we shared.
But which ties to his point.
But I've said that before, and I said, if you don't earn over 100,000 shillings, you should not think of a woman. Forget a family. Forget a family. You should not think of a woman. If you're earning less than 100
So he said basically what...
Yeah.
And
Chupa ingine inakuja. Come on, what are you doing? Why lie to these boys?
It goes without saying, like, why do we feel the need to... It's even the guys who are earning 25 are aware. It's just that you're touching us. You're touching us.
And you see, the thing
Kibe's
is...
book is touching on that point.
Yes.
Those lessons he has is to try and get you to make something of your life. But if you're there saying, I know this is okay, this is fine, then the book is not for you.
Because the people who want you to explain that 30,000 is okay and you can make it work. But 30,000 is okay if you're coming from high school and your parents are living in a house where you guys are paying maybe 7,000-8,000 bob. So for you, 30,000, you're balling already.
Yeah.
But from the where you come from,
This Jama
nothing.
was a working class guy as well, the guy who commented, yeah. Tulikosana tu kwa comments. But then like
Lakini sasa wewe nikuulize, every time you leave the house, you go somewhere. Like now this coffee probably one cup of coffee is 300 bob. This is minimum. It cannot be less than 300.
Yeah.
Bro, don't ask for a donut. That's 550. And maybe you have to tip the guy. If you're polite, you can use a G coming here, and then maybe another 500 to go back home. So a G5, just leaving your digs. These are polite. If you decide that you want to go out, you're taking mamas, you wear. That's 10 Gs.
Easy.
10 Gs.
Kim, why are you laughing?
Easy.
10 Gs easy. So you don't tell me with 30K, what are you going to do? You cannot afford a woman. You can hardly afford yourself.
Hey, Nairobi, if you take a mama out, Anyway,
so that's the thing. So even with this book, and this is where now I was going with this story,
Yeah.
is that for us men, especially now the ones who are on this side, you guys need to be bolder. We need to be bold and call out the bullshit when you see it. Be bold about it. So that now we can start to create our own constituency. Because our constituency is scattered.
It is.
Because for us, as long as you have your internet and your nice fridge and, you can go home and browse and have Wi-Fi, you're good. But it's not enough. Because this country needs our thinking. The people who are on this side.
So, as Eric likes saying, this has been a very pivotal episode. Kibe, again, I appreciate it. It's always fantastic.
You guys are good
with you,
vibes,
man. No,
that was fun.
I can talk to you guys.
So, as Eric likes saying, as we land the plane, Kibe, from you, I want to know when the book is launching. We'll put everything in the details. But your thoughts, your closing thoughts, brother.
Before you even say that, if the 28 pointers are as profound as that, and I'm not kissing your ass, because even my wife who's here, who's a lady
she's nodding in the background at some of these
every
points.
statement you said, it rings true.
Yeah.
If someone is objective, if someone has an open mind, if someone wants to actually improve themselves, I actually subscribe. Yeah, so I'd just like to tip my hat to you, man. If you wrote 28 points like that,
Bro,
original thought,
yeah.
from experience, that means you're living your life also taking every lesson in stride, man. That's quite something. Yeah.
I echo the same sentiments. Tip my hat to you. We're buying 10 copies each, yeah? In fact,
At least.
Lazima, CoffeePump subscribers and E041.
How much is a copy?
So right now I'm doing a copy at a G. I think a G is good enough. Yeah. And it's a physical copy.
Okay.
It's a
physical
copy,
copy.
yes. So
Okay.
I started with physical. Then once I'm done, I want to do a whole book tour on 24th May. I've been invited to Uganda.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I can shikanisha a couple of places, go around. So when I get the physical copy, we'll have to do this again.
Are those guys embracing you better than Kenyans, for example, Ugandans?
I've not been there as Andrew Kibe. The last time I went there, I was a con man. No. I was a merchant. I was buying bikes to bring them to Kenya. But now when I'm going back, I'm going there as Andrew Kibe now. So I can't wait to see.
So what I'll do is I'll buy 20 books, and the guys that comment "Jugu motherfucking guy" in the comments, the first 20 I'll send you all of your books.
Very good, very good.
Fuck you. Kibe, the other thing, by the way, I ordered the hoodies. I know they're being delivered.
Did you get them?
I think I was told they're being delivered. So
When
then
did you order?
I think when we spoke last.
No, you didn't order all this.
Nakuonyesha.
Where is that order, man? Hey,
Takuonyesha order. I showed
I
Eric as
remember I
well.
asked you, did you order those hoodies?
As soon as we spoke, I went and ordered. I ordered for him Mr. Lambistic, which was the one for Daddy Longstrokes. Yeah.
But see,
We'll work on that.
I put to drop the ball if you did.
But don't worry. But anyway, guys, Jugu motherfucking guy, 20 comments, whoever gets the most likes in order, I'll send it to them.
I'll get 10. I'll keep 2. I'll give 8 to some lucky E041.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lucky who?
Every other time.
Every other time with Eric.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to come. We have to do this again.
It's my pleasure, man.
The other one I wanted to do with him was Midnight Coffee, but we'll plan for that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll link everyone's details in the description. We'll catch you in the next episode.
Salute.